let's get started. So in this video, we will talk about user management in Office 365. We have already logged into our admin portal, and for basic task, we can perform it from here under user management, which is under dashboard view. However, we have users from the left side. Once we click on it, we can visit active users. We have other options like contacts, guest users, deleted users. So under active users, we have add a user, user template, add multiple users, multi-factor authentication, delete a user, and delete a user. So if you want to add a single user, we can perform it by clicking on this add a user. Let me fill the information. I have filled the details for test user 1. I want to create a password, so I have filled the details for the user, which is test 1, and I have filled the details for user 1 and selected the domain, which is techsugar.org. However, if you want to change the domain name, we can change it from here. So I'll leave the default one. I wanted to create the password, so I have created it, and I do not want the user to change their password when they logged in very first time. So once the detail is filled, we can click on next. We can select a location, and then we can assign the license. Next. We can also select the location, assign the license. If you want to create a user without a license, we can also perform that task using this. So create user without product license. In a few case scenario, we have to create a user without a license and we assign license sometime later. So in that case, we can perform the task from here. So as if now I'm assigning the license, then next. If you want to assign the admin role, we can perform it here. I'll leave it user account, no admin access, and next. We can confirm all the details here, then finish adding. It will take a moment and it will add the user. So the user is added. We can close this. Once we refresh the page, we'll have a new user. I think it's taking a moment. Let me refresh it. Yeah. So we have user 1 that we have created. Next, we have user templates. So we can also create user template if we have certain tasks which we want to repeat. Like if we have a specific license and we want to assign those licenses to a specific group of people. So in that case, we can create template. Suppose we have user admins, we have exchange admins, or we have other specific admin, and we create the template. We assign. Next, we have user templates. We can also create user by using the templates. So in template, basically we have a set of uh, we have a category in which we create a users. So suppose if we have multiple license for the organization, and for a group of people we want to assign a specific license, and for other group of people we want to assign a different license. It can be similar for admin roles. So we create user template and we create user according to those templates. So when we create users, so we use the user template while creating the user. Then we have multiple user options. So we can also add multiple user at the same time. So once we click on that, we have option to add 5 users at a time, and we can create 5 users in one go. Let's cancel this. Next, we have add multiple users. So we can also add multiple users in one go. So if we want to create multiple users, we need to click here and we can add user details here. So we have 5 default options we can type here. However, if we want to add more, or if we want to add a lesser number of user accounts, so in that case, we can remove it from here. So suppose if you want one more user, so we can add it from here. Or by any chance, if we have like hundreds of people and we want to use, suppose we have 100 of user. Next, we have add multiple users. So if you want to add multiple users in one go, we can click here. We have 5 options available. We have 5 options available that we can fill here. However, if we want to remove any row or add any row, we can add it here. So we can add multiple users. By any chance, if we can add or remove a row from here by removing here and by adding here. So this will add more a row and we can add more users. If you want to use CSV file, in that case, we can select this checkbox and scroll this down. If we have limited number of users that we want, to add, we can add it here. If we have hundreds of people that we wanted to add, and next we have add multiple users. So if you want to add multiple users, we can click here. We have 5 rows that we can add. However, if you want to remove any row, or if we want to add any row, we can perform it from here. If we want to add more than, next we have add multiple users. We can add multiple users from here. So next we have add multiple users, which we can perform it from here. By clicking on add multiple users, we can fill the details and click on next. If you want to use Excel sheet, so we can use that in CSV form. We can use that in CSV format by scrolling. We can Next, we have add multiple users, which we can perform it from here by clicking here. We can fill this information and click on next. If we have, we can also perform this task by using CSV template by scrolling this down and clicking here, scroll this down and download a blank CSV file with required headers. So we simply download this. Let me open and fill this form. I have filled the Excel file. I have filled the CSV file and I'm uploading it. So we have created I've created 3 users, which is user 2, user 3, and user 4. So I'm updating it. Let's update this. Browse. Then next. As if now I'm not assigning license. Don't assign license. Let's click on next. Add users. So if you see, we have added 3 users by using add multiple user. Let's refresh this. Might take a moment. So we already have the user list, which we have performed using add multiple users. Then we have multi-factor authentication. So we can enable multi-factor authentication for these users by clicking on this. This will redirect us to a place where we can add multi-factor authenticator. It redirected us to a place where we can enable MFA for the users. We can we can enable it for a single user by selecting one and enable MFA, or we can perform it for multiple user in one go. Enable MFA. Let's go back to the previous portal. We have already created a user, and next we have delete a user. So by any chance, if a user has left the organization and we do not want that user, so in that case we can delete the user. Suppose I do not need this user, so I'll be deleting this user. Delete user. Close. So the user has been deleted. Let me refresh this. It might take a moment. It's coming and disappearing. Let me refresh this whole page. So now we do not have user 4. We can check that under deleted user. If we go here, we have deleted user. So deleted user stays there for 30 days, and after 30 days, it is permanently deleted. We can also permanently delete it using Azure portal or through PowerShell. We'll perform that sometime later. As of now, let's go back to active user section. So by selecting user, we can reset the password and we can manage product license from here. Then we have next contacts. We can add contacts here, whether we can add multiple single contact, whether we can add single contact or we can add multiple contacts. We can also export contacts. As if now there is no contact, so we do not see anything in this. We can add contact here or add multiple contacts from here. We can also export contacts. If we have list of contacts here, we can export that and we can share that with other. We can export the contact from here. Then next we have guest users. So we can add guest user from here. Guest users are users outside of the organization. So if we have guest users are users outside of the organization. If we are collaborating with someone else and if we have other person who is in different organization, and if we want to give certain access within our organization, it can be Teams chat, it can be SharePoint file which we want to share and collaborate with other user which is not part of our organization. So in that case, we use that user as a guest user. Similarly, we can also use contacts. Contacts is basically related to emails, and this is the contact that we want to add for our users. So suppose if someone want to send email. Similarly, we have contacts, which is specifically related to email. If we add any contact here, this will replicate in users Outlook, and from there they can send email directly selecting that contact. So contacts are also outside of the organization. It can be any personal email or any work email, which is not part of the current organization. So this was the user management part within Microsoft 365 Admin Center. However, we have 2 other options that we can perform. However, we can perform the similar task at 2 different places. So one is one within Entra ID and one under Intune ID. We have performed user management task within Office 365 admin portal. However, we have other options as well. The same task can be performed in different ways. So with we can perform this task within Entra admin portal as well as Intune admin portal. So under Entra admin portal, we can go here under users, all users, and from here we can add new user. We can create bulk operations. We can add new user. So we can create new user and invite external user, which will be guest user. We can download user. We can perform bulk operation, bulk create, bulk invite, and bulk delete. Then we have option to manage column, and we can select per user MFA. Then let's go to Intune admin portal. Under Intune admin portal, here under users, we can create new user, and similar task that we have in Entra ID, we can also perform it from here. Apart from that, we also have the option to perform the same task. We also have the option to perform the same task within PowerShell. So that will be covering in different video for now. Apart from that, we also have the same task that we can perform within PowerShell. So that is for different video. That's it for this video. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel. Keep learning, keep sharing.